Okay, so what does the implementation of the surviving to thriving system really amount to? Well, first of all, it's not learning a computer program. Okay, this is a system, it's a way of doing business, and you learn a lot about people and functions and things along those lines because our basic belief is that you get the people situation right and they'll fix everything else, and they do. Okay, so but we've already discussed that it's a three-part system. It is first we get you the time, and then we take that time to think, plan, and lead. In other words, and focus so we understand and know what makes your business a success, and so that you know what has to happen to make it successful, know what to measure, things along those lines. And then when that's done, then we can take that kind of focus and bring it down the organization and involve people very much in their jobs so they get this empowerment and the connection and the feeling of progress that it takes to make people happy at their jobs, which in turn, that's what keeps people in their jobs. So, but the implementation, first of all, we this is a it is a business operations system. It's not a total, it's not like it totally cramps your style, but it's a system. And if you're going to do a business operations system, you have to be trained thoroughly in it, and it has to be thoroughly operational, which that we do. Okay. Now, the second part is, though, that it needs to be implemented rapidly. If this takes a long time to implement and it's done real slow and piecemeal, it drives people crazy, and rightfully so, because it's so functional. W- it's like if it took you till you were 8 to learn to walk, you'd pay your parents. It would be a pain. Okay, that's not what we're doing. So it happens fast. We do it in a boot camp style, and it's intense days, but we get you there in a hurry, which means you get results in a hurry. Okay, and then um, lastly, because of that intensity, it is difficult sometimes, but the difficulty lasts for a very short amount of time because we do this with intensity. Works very, very well. All right, so the three major steps. The first one we call Daymaster, and Daymaster is basically it is a meeting system. Now, yes, there is usually for every team one major meeting a day, or maybe it's not. But these meetings are 8 minutes long, but they're going to gain you 4 to 9 hours per person per week, which is 250 to 450 hours a year. It is a tremendous time saver. Well, we do that because it is combined with a workmaster system. So you have this meeting that dramatically saves you time. There's a work system which gets things from um, the decision to do something to when it's completed. It cuts the time by about 50% usually. And then we also give each person their own, what I call their adventure page. And that's their stuff, okay? Their tasks, their things like this, and we tie them all together, and that's what makes it work. So if you look at it, this is a day master page for an organization. Okay, that's in the arena, and it just tells you, it lists the jobs that have been completed, the task. They stay on there long enough for people to get a pat on the back in the dark green. And then there's these things that are due very, very, very soon or committed to very soon. And they come up, the yellow ones are more intense than the light green ones, but it's one place. You get to see everything that everybody's due. And when someone's late, it's there for the world to see. Now, we do talk about teammate recognitions and suggestions for improvements and things along those lines, but that's not the major function of this page. But now let's look at a meeting page, because this is where it all really happens. If we're looking at a meeting, and this is, I'll just close this so we can see it better. So these are our list of meetings, and there's different types and things like that. We're not going to get into all that detail. But if we click on one, it opens up a window for that meeting. Now, our opinion of meetings is quite a bit different than normal. Meetings are not where we talk about things. Meetings are places you get things done. Yes, that is done by talking, but it is a bias to action. And if all our meetings have a bias to action, it permeates throughout the organization. So really, most meetings are repetitive for a certain purpose. So we clarify the purpose of the meeting, and then we come up with these list of questions. And you ask the questions at the beginning of the meeting, and they are particular to each meeting, and they're yes or no. And if it's no, you go on. You don't have to worry about that. If it's yes, you do something about it. It's very simple, but it gets, instead of spending 45 minutes talking about generalities, we can cover an hour and a half worth of stuff in 8 or 10 minutes, because most of it is simply no, that's okay. We don't have to worry about it. And most of it, for most meetings, is very repetitive. So one set of questions can do that. You can take notes, you answer them yes or no, add notes to it, you can add tasks to it, and then all the tasks for a meeting are over here in one place. And these also turn into the agenda items, all right? Because if you want to do something at a meeting, you know, agendas have this tendency to be these places where it says like talk about. Well, talk about doesn't actually do things. So an agenda item is a task, and it's decide on or choose between or create a process. Those are agenda items because they're actionable, and because they're a task, there is the expectation that you will finish it by the end of the meeting. It makes the meeting, one, go much faster, and then two, it's much more productive. And as you go along, you can assign tasks to people. For instance, I'm going to take care of this. Sure. Create them a task, and it works. All of this, the meeting task, all of these tasks tie into this work management system. Now, the work management system, yes, it has projects, and it's all at the um, organizational level, but then everybody has their own, what I call an adventure page. And when you're on your adventure page, that is one page where you can go to once a day, and it shows all your tasks. You go there in a week and you can find all your initiatives, which are like projects and things that you're in charge of. It has a guide. It says, do follow these steps and you'll get a lot done in a week. But you could have tasks from 5 different meetings and 3 different projects, but if they're your task and they're due anytime soon, they're going to show up in this one place where you can deal with them and work with them. Now, along with this Workmaster system for the individual, there's also an app that it's simplified. You can't run your business out of this app because apps that attempt to do that are miserable. No, this is you can run your day out of it. But and it works extremely well with that. And everybody in the organization can have access to the app. It works. Okay, so now we get you the time. That's how we get the time. That's the basics of the Daymaster system. Now, the next thing is to focus. So under the organization, we create what we call a focus plan. And in the focus plan, we you answer these a basic set of questions about your organization, and then you can put everything that really needs to be known about your organization and the heart and soul of it. You can fit on the front and back of one page. It's really not that difficult. But once you do it, now you have this understandable guide. You can create binders and all kinds of things about a business, and it's too big to actually use. The front and back of one page, we can use that. Okay? And that's what you end up with. It is focused, understandable, conversational, it's decisional. You can do all those things with it. That's the focus plan. It has focal points. That's how we get there. Now, once you get to that, we take that and we create what we call initiatives. These are the things you're going to measure your success. And all of these are they're hierarchical. So in other words, you decide what's success for the organization, and then underneath that you may have departments, what's success for each department. And underneath that you may have sub teams, what's success for each of the teams. And then you get down to the individual members of the team. What is successful for them? You keep it as few measurements as possible, but no fewer. You measure only what needs to be measured, and everyone is very clear on exactly what's expected of them, which is extremely rare in corporate America. Okay? But that is the focus plan. And if you look at a project, it's a project of ours, and the project has milestones and tasks. And all these tasks, if they if they're your task, they end up showing up on, this is one of our projects, okay? But forgive the speed when you're doing a video recording of the screen, it slows things down dramatically. But this is a rather intense project, okay? And it has tasks assigned to different people under different milestones, but all those will show up. If they're my task, they're going to show up in my adventure. I can work them all from this one concise place. The work master system integrates the meetings and the notes with the projects with the individual person's work. Okay, so that's the focus master, and it's how you get more done. Now, then we get to the last part. Now, this is much more of a longer implementation, but only because it's simpler. We call it HR to team. It's not really simpler, maybe isn't the right word, but now you have this focus and you can move it down the organization. You start with the top management team, and then they take it to their teams, and they take it to their teams, and you integrate this with the tools that a supervisor needs, that an individual employee needs. And all these tools work together, but they also benefit the individual. And all the systems are designed to get what actually matters done for the organization and to give the individual a fulfilling job in making those things happen. So that's the overview of the implementation and how it works in general. All the tools are there. We have all the processes, and the point is to get you from beginning to where you can do projects and know what you're measuring and have the work master system working and begin to implement the human resources to team, HR to team system in 3 weeks. Thank you.